Hey guys, in this video here what we're going to do is we're going to test out how this network adapter performs. So this is really just kind of a continuation of the video I just released that really just kind of shows you everything you need to know about how to connect this to your iPhone and kind of all the materials that you need to buy and where you can buy them from. But now we're actually going to put this to the test and really see how it performs by looking at a lot of these frequencies that are coming to and from your phone. Like if you're using your phone that's connected to your Wi-Fi, or if you're using your phone that's connected to your data plan, which is connected to all of the cell phone towers in the area, what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor those frequencies. And I'm going to monitor those when you're using this network device as it's connected hardwired. So we're going to look and see that actually those frequencies they kind of disappear from the environment when we use this network adapter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug this network adapter and I'm going to turn the data and the Wi-Fi back on. And we're going to see what kind of levels of radiation that we're dealing with in kind of both scenarios here. So the first test that I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to monitor the signal that's coming from my phone to the cell phone towers. And we're going to see what kind of activity is happening on those frequencies. Now I've done a little homework with my phone ahead of time here, and the actual frequency that's being used to connect my phone to the cell towers in my neighborhood, it's actually 1.9 gigahertz. And it's a frequency that's actually called GSM 1900. Now GSM, what that actually stands for, it stands for Global System for Mobile Communications. And really what it is, it's a digital cellular technology that's used all around the planet. And it's used in the 4G networks, it's used in the LTE networks, which is what my phone is actually using. It's using the LTE network. And it's also a frequency that's used in 5G. It's a mid-band frequency that's used in 5G all around the planet. And it's this 1.9 gigahertz frequency. And the nearest cell tower that I actually have to my home is about 800 meters away. So it is, a significant distance away. I always like to see, people keep at least, kind of bare minimum about 500 meters away from these things, if not further. But I'm, just under a kilometer away. So I'm a significant distance away. So I'm going to be using my spectrum analyzer to kind of to really monitor this band of frequencies at that 1.9 gigahertz. And really what I'm tuning into here, it's actually the uplink signal. And the uplink signal is actually what connects my phone to the cell tower. And that uplink signal, the frequency band that it uses, it's about 1,850 megahertz to about 1,910 megahertz. So there's a span of frequencies here that are used to kind of allow my phone to make that connection to the cell phone tower. And that's what I'm kind of monitoring right in front of you here. As you can see the vertical kind of orange arrow, or the orange line, sorry. And the blue kind of vertical line, that's just showing you that band of frequencies that I'm monitoring here. And you can see there's a little bit of activity happening there. And it works out to be about negative 70 dBm. That's kind of the level of radiation that I'm picking up right now. And we have to remember that my phone is on airplane mode. I'm not making any connection to the cell tower right now at all. So what we're measuring is just kind of the background type of radiation that's coming off these cell phone towers that are about 800 meters away. And that seems, pretty realistic and normal for, this level of radiation to just be here, especially when we have a cell phone tower kind of this close. And really the rule of thumb, when we get it into about negative 75 to negative 85 dBm, this is really kind of considered to be really a fair type of signal strength to really make a connection from your phone to the tower. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go onto my phone and I'm going to turn my cellular network on. So I'm going to take it off airplane mode. As you can see, if I zoom in, you can see in the top right corner, it is on airplane mode. So the connection is not being made right now. Okay guys, so now what I've done here is I've went ahead and kind of turned my data plan on. As you can see here by this green button here. And the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth I've got turned off for this test, so that's not going to be a part of this test here. Now, one other thing that I'm going to be doing here in the background is I'm going to be playing YouTube, and I'm just going to play some videos in the background here. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure we get lots of data coming to the phone. And when we're running YouTube, on a regular basis, we are using a significant amount of our data plan. And I also figured that's probably what most people are kind of doing when they're using their phone, is they're watching a lot of videos. So now if we actually look at the meter here, you can actually see we're dealing with this is a significant change from when we were actually just using our network adapter and making our connection to the internet, through that Ethernet cable. And you can see here now that we're dealing with the peak levels of this signal here, if you look at them, they are reaching as high as about a negative 20 dBm at the very top there. Now that's a significant increase here from where we were just a few minutes ago here when I was measuring negative 70. That negative 70 dBm, which was kind of just measuring the kind of ambient kind of electromagnetic radiation in the environment here from the cell tower. But now that we're actually making a direct connection here to the cell tower, we've actually increased the electromagnetic radiation, the intensity of these signals here, by 100,000 times. This is what this means when we're going from negative 70 up to about negative 20. An increase of about 100,000 times. That level of intensity has increased this much. And we have to remember here too that if you take a look here, I have my meter sitting, it's about a couple feet in front of my phone. So this is the environment that I'm measuring here, and again, this level of intensity is only going to get that much more intense the more that we actually get closer to the phone. Okay guys, I'm going to do one last test for you. What we're going to do is we're going to test the Wi-Fi now. So what I got currently going on here is I got the Wi-Fi completely disabled in my home. So it's not turned on yet, but what I will be running here shortly is I will be running the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. And I'm going to be tuning into channel 1 on my router. So I'm going to be turning that on shortly. Now you notice here that my phone is on airplane mode, and the Wi-Fi button, it's not turned on yet. And of course my Wi-Fi is not turned on either. So we're going to take a look and see what's going on in this environment right now when we're not running Wi-Fi. So this meter here has been running for the last several minutes, and it's really what I'm tuning into here is I'm tuning into channel 1 on my 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Now you can see on the left hand side here we got a vertical yellow line. Now this is tuned into the 2.400 gigahertz. It's pretty much kind of right on the button there. And the line on the right hand side, the blue line, that's actually tuned to 2.422 gigahertz. And what we've got here is we've got channel 1, which is about 22 megahertz in width here. This is what it operates on. And you'll notice here that there's really very little activity happening here. You can see we're kind of hovering right at that negative 90 dBm. And a few spikes kind of getting, closer to about negative 80. I'm suspecting maybe, I got some neighbors that are relatively close by. Could be picking up maybe a couple, maybe some Bluetooth devices here and there that are kind of very, very weak signals. But really there's really not much going on this channel whatsoever. So you can see here, I've went ahead and I've toggled the Wi-Fi button back on here. You see this blue button. We are still on airplane mode, which means our data plan, the cell phone towers, there's no connection being made right now. Bluetooth is still turned off. And I've went ahead and I've gone over and plugged my router back in. And the 2.4 gigahertz frequency here, this channel 1 here that I've been talking about, it's now live and it's being propagated into the environment here. So now we're going to take a look at the meter and we're going to see what's going on here now. So guys, I've been running this meter for the last many minutes, just really kind of scanning the environment here as my phone is just a couple feet away from this meter. And you can see there's a lot of activity here happening. And if you look at the peaks of all these frequencies here, you can see they're right around that negative 50 dBm. And if you remember from just a few minutes ago, the baseline here when the Wi-Fi was turned off and we were actually using our network adapter was right around negative 90 dBm. So we've gone from negative 90 all the way up to negative 50, and that's really a 10,000 times increase in this electromagnetic intensity here at all these frequencies, from the 2.400 all the way to the 2.422, that 22 megahertz span. And there's a lot of activity happening in this range here, guys. And I'm working on a video as well to kind of show you the activity and what's really going on in this Wi-Fi world, where the technology that's used is actually called orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. And you guys would be, I think, interested to see what's really truly going on behind the scenes here. And we have to remember, this is all at this 2.4 gigahertz. And from previous videos that I've done, you can see that, I mean, this is the frequency that's really, affecting water. Our microwave ovens use these frequencies to cook your food. So I know we're dealing with power levels that are significantly less than you're using in your microwave oven, but there's clear evidence showing that this still has an effect on disturbing the body. And the interaction from these frequencies on how they actually interact with the human body is still not understood, guys. It's so important to mention that. We just don't truly know enough about how this works. And I have a sense that it's all happening on the water network inside of us. It's important, I think, to really take some steps to reduce the intensity levels here in our immediate environments. And you can see here, just by using the network adapter, we can reduce these Wi-Fi intensity levels down by 10,000 times just by going hardwired directly into your router. And also, when you're connecting to the cell phone towers, we also saw earlier that we can reduce those intensity levels at those frequencies by up to 100,000 times just by using this network adapter. And I think that's really significant for you guys to be aware of, because the future on where we're headed, it's going to be, I think we're really going to have to take this much more seriously and start really finding ways to reduce this type of electromagnetic stress in our environment. And really the last thing I just kind of want to mention to you guys too is that, like I said, this phone is about a couple feet away from the meter. And these are the levels of intensity here that I'm measuring, about 10,000 times higher. So we have to remember that our hands are in constant contact with this device. And all the antennas are inside this iPhone. This is what's actually receiving the signal. So once we get closer to those antennas, I mean, the intensity level of these frequencies is just going to continue to go up the closer and closer we get to this device. And our hands are constantly in contact with this thing. And we don't know enough about what that's really truly doing. But we can say for sure that the intensity levels that our body will be experiencing at this level here is going to be much higher. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. And like I mentioned in the previous video, if you guys are interested in kind of purchasing one of these, I have it up on my website, energyalignmentsolutions.com, under the product section. And we'll see you guys next time.